Hi, my lovely people. Welcome back to another Tuesday episode of Drink and Sew Things with me, your host. I don't know, I thought I'd try to do a different intro, switch it up a little. I don't know. If you are a returning subscriber, hello, welcome back. How is your week going so far? I hope it's fabulous. If you are new here, hi, my name is Nikita and welcome to my channel where this is what I do. I drink and I sew things. Today we're going to be talking about basic sewing machine maintenance, something that I never did until recently. So don't follow my example of not actually doing this. You should do this periodically. We'll talk about how often in just a little bit. It's not going to be super in-depth. You should probably still take your machine to get like serviced, I don't know, like once a year or something. But this will just kind of be basic, keep it running well so that hopefully this can solve some of those problems that you get. If you are new here, hello and welcome. I'm very glad that you are here. Each week I sit down or stand here, apparently, and I teach you a basic sewing project or something sewing related with a drink in hand. Also, I don't normally look this fancy, so don't worry, it's not normally like this. It's actually Easter today when I'm filming this. It won't be when I'm posting it, but I had to be in my Easter finest. So that tells you something, that this is my finest. Today I'm drinking a lemon drop. My husband made this for me because he's the best bartender I know. Also, this is not made with vodka. I think that lemon drops are normally vodka. This is made with Wild Roots gin, my all-time favorite. Oh, it's so good. Also, my favorite part of a lemon drop is the sugar rim. So I don't know if you can see how tall, and this is like super, super thick. Man, that's tasty. Firstly, let's make sure that you have your drink of choice nearby. Look at that sugar rim, you guys. Oh, I feel like I have to just chew it, you know? To attest to how easy and basic this is, I'm just gonna hold this in one hand while we talk about what you need, okay? So, first, make sure that you have some scissors or snips so that you can cut that thread to pull it out the right direction. You're gonna need a brand new machine needle so we can replace that and make sure it's nice and sharp, nice and pointy. You're gonna need a brush. I would actually probably like a brush that's larger than this. If you get like the Singer sewing machine maintenance kit, it comes with a larger brush. That's a lot nicer. This one is like so teeny tiny. I feel like a teeny tiny archaeologist. But anyway, you're gonna need a brush. You're also gonna want some Q-tips, just like, I don't know, 2, maybe 3. You're gonna want a teeny tiny amount of sewing machine oil. You may check your machine manual just to make sure like what kind you should buy, but I think just like in general, like Singer will have like a universal, this is like a universal high quality sewing machine oil, whatever. Just a little bit. Like you need like 2 drops, so this bottle is gonna last me right until I'm like 95. Controversial sewing machine product alert. I think that you should have compressed air. Call the sewing machine police! Ah! So compressed air, there are some people say you should not use this line, don't use this on your machine. Okay, well maybe like don't like use this with caution. Like don't like sue me because I broke a sewing machine or something. I use this in the top part of my sewing machine to blow out the thread like dusties that get in there. I don't want to use it in the base of my machine because if you do that, it can blow the like fibers and stuff inside, and then we don't want that. I don't want to like ruin your machine or whatever. So just be careful about which part of your machine you use it on. Maybe you're not even supposed to use it up here, but like I don't want to take apart my whole machine just to get that stuff out, you know? So I just blow it out because it's a lot easier. But anyway, there you go. That's what you need. Did I already say that you need your drink? Make sure that you have this. Even if it's like tea or something, you should have something so that you can like, you know, have your little beverage, a little tea or lemon drop or wine so that you can work on your sewing machine and just, you know, have a good time. So another good question is, how often should you clean your machine? There are lots of different people who will tell you lots of different things. I've heard after every 8 hours of sewing, after every 3 projects, after every project if they're larger. I've heard lots of different things. How I do it, me, the super fancy professional sewist that we know I am. How I do it is when, you know I sew with a lot of fleece and a lot of flannel, so it gets really dusty. And those fibers build up, especially like underneath the plate and like inside the feed dogs and stuff. So when my machine starts to make noise, like the bobbin starts to like click as it moves, or I'm starting to get my stitches are not quite straight, or like the thread tension is doing something weird, that's usually when I think, maybe I should like clean my machine out. Open it up and there will be like packed dusties in there. Clean it out, and then lo and behold, it works fine again. Weird. Really, I should be doing it probably about once a week, since I use my machine for a couple of hours every single day, since I sew for like my business, and I sew for this, and I sew for fun too. If you are just sewing periodically, you probably don't need to do this very often. And if you're sewing with primarily cotton fabric and not so much the dusty, fibery kind of fabrics, you can probably go less often. So maybe once a month, once every couple months. If you have just purchased a brand new machine, obviously you don't have to do this. If you have just purchased a used machine, I definitely would do this before the first time that you use it, so you can make sure that everything's cleaned out kind of as you start to familiarize yourself with how your machine works, which we'll talk about in a future video. So, enough rambling, let's get started. The first step that we're gonna do is go ahead and unplug that son of a gun. We don't want any accidental injuries. I have been accidentally injured by my bobbin case before, where it hooked into my thumb, so let's just unplug the machine and just get rid of that possibility altogether. Now this is a Pfaff Performance 2056. It is a front loading bobbin. Some machines have a top loading bobbin, which is when it's inside of this presser plate thingy right here. Where you lift it out and the bobbin's right there, but mine is in the front. So yours might be just slightly different, but the cleaning it out and everything is gonna be roughly the same. So now that it's unplugged, the next step is to go ahead and take your thread out. I have this very bad habit of pulling my thread out and up through the tension rods and everything in here. And apparently that's like super bad. So we need to get into the habit of snipping our thread and then pulling it out through the bottom. And then you can go ahead and remove your thread. Next up, let's go ahead and remove our needle as well. So lower the presser foot, and I'm going to turn my hand crank so that my needle goes up. The hand crank still works when it's unplugged, which can be nice to move stuff out of the way. So we're just gonna unscrew this little piece here, and then the needle will just slide right out. I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm also gonna tighten the screw back up just in case so that it doesn't like fall out or anything. The next step, let's go ahead and take a drink. Makes this part more fun, woo! Now this is the arm of my machine, and it just slides like this, and then you can actually lift it out, and I'm gonna set that aside. And then here is my bobbin case, my fiend, the bobbin case. So I'm gonna pull this little part here, and it pops out. I'm actually gonna remove the bobbin from the case so that I can go ahead and clean this part as well. Now, in some machines, there might be a little button here, or maybe there's levers on either side of this so that you can actually pull out more of these pieces. Unfortunately, on this machine, and I think other Pfaff machines as well, there's actually like screws in there we've got to take out. So I'm not going to bother with actually removing it since I'm not having problems with it spinning or anything. I know there's nothing stuck in there, so I'm just gonna leave it. All right, now the next step, let's go ahead and lift up our presser foot and remove that as well. It just snaps right off. I'm just gonna set that aside. It'll make working in here a little bit easier. You can also, there's a little screw right here. We can undo that and pull this off further if you need more space to work, but my plate is pretty easy to remove, so I'm gonna leave it on. Now, I'm fairly certain there's supposed to be a screw right here, but there's not. If you do have screws here or somewhere on your plate, go ahead and take a small screwdriver. They'll need to be short, and those usually come with those sewing machine maintenance and repair kits. You're gonna undo those before we can pop it off. don't know if this is what this tool is for, but I have this little notch right here, and I'm just gonna slide it under and pop the plate off. Now it's time to get down to business. You can see how gross it is. This is not even as gross as it normally gets in here. So we are going to take our brush and we're just gonna brush that stuff out. You can see it comes off in kind of chunks. Let's go ahead and take that, brush it off. You don't want to use compressed air in here because it can blow everything back inside of the machine, and we do not want that. We don't want to gum it up even further. So just brush it off real good. I'm also going to brush off up here, up top, all of these mechanisms. Isn't this fun? Maybe this isn't like the most fun thing that you've ever done sewing, but it for sure as heck is necessary. Ooh, I'm gonna take another drink before I continue. I'm also going to stick my brush in here. I'm gonna get this all cleaned out. You can see this is the stuff I do not want inside of my sewing machine because it makes it much harder to sew stuff, believe it or not. That's the professional way to do it. Then I'm just gonna take a Q-tip and I'm going to get in here just a little bit more to get some of those finer particles out, and some of the things that the brush doesn't want to pick up, the cotton on the Q-tip will. Also gonna put this Q-tip down in here, inside of the bobbin case and around the bobbin case. Look at that nastiness. Ooh-wee. We are gonna oil some of these parts here in just a second, but I also want to take a Q-tip and clean out inside of my bobbin case. Get all those little fibers out. Now this is where your thread goes, and you're supposed to snip your thread and pull it down, but I often do pull it out. And as it's moving and stuff, some of the thread fibers will get inside of here. So this is the place where I use my compressed air. I can blow those little fibers out of there, and then I'm not blowing stuff like into the machine. I don't know, maybe the sewing police will still come for me. Now this is sewing machine oil. This thing pulls out, woohoo. You can pull this little cap off here. And the idea is that this can get inside of your machine. I am not gonna oil inside of my machine though. I am just going to pop off this little lid, and then I'm only gonna put a little bit of oil onto my Q-tip, just like a drop or two. And I am going to oil just a tiny bit inside of my bobbin case. And then I'm also gonna oil on these metal parts here and here. Give them just a little bit of lubrication. Not a ton. We don't want to be doing too much oil and gumming up our machine. Now let us take a drink to celebrate that we have finished cleaning our machine. Woo woo! You may also want like a paper towel or something because I'm gotten a little bit of sewing machine oil on my hands. So first thing is I'm going to go ahead and slide my plate back in here. Make sure that it clicks. If you have screws, let's go ahead and replace those. If you did remove this section, we need to make sure that that gets put in and the screw gets tightened. Then I am going to replace my presser foot real nice and easy. Periodically, you should also replace your needle. So you need to make sure that your needle is nice and sharp. That will help with your projects. We're gonna just slide this down. Oh no, oily fingers. I'm gonna pull out one of my 80-12 needles, just like a universal size. Now you can see on this machine needle, there's a flat side on this side, and then it's rounded on the other sides. So on my machine, the flat side goes to the back. Perhaps yours is a little bit different, but it just slides in here. And then we tighten that little screw and we're good to go. While we're still down here, I'm just gonna go ahead and put my bobbin back in place as well. Make sure that that's nice and clicked in there. And then I'm gonna make sure that my needle is up so that this part is up so I can properly thread my machine. Your machine may be different than mine, but usually, right, they've got like a whole process. Make sure that you look in your machine manual so that you can get that whole process right. Now I've got to make sure that I put a spool cap back on. It's very important that you put a spool cap on because otherwise the thread can catch on the edge of your spool or it can fly off. Not like I know that from experience or anything. Make sure that the spool cap is at least as large, if not just slightly larger than your actual spool you're using. Then we'll go ahead and shut that. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and plug my machine back in. Turn it on. Mine doesn't like to bring up the bobbin thread when you just turn the hand crank. It loves to do it only when you actually, there we go. And I'm just gonna pull it a little bit, make sure that it runs smoothly. Excellent. Close that up. I'm gonna put the arm back on. Close that. And then we're gonna spill our sewing machine needles everywhere. That's fun. Now I wanna make sure that I didn't like mess anything up. So I'm just going to put a little piece of fabric here and then I'm going to just sew. Oh, you know why it's not moving? Is because I forgot to turn the feed dogs back on. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, and it sounds good. It doesn't sound like anything's catching. It doesn't feel like anything's catching. I just look at the back and look at the front, make sure that everything looks fine, and it does. So now my machine is cleaned and ready for my next project. So there you have it. How to clean your sewing machine. Obviously this is like basic maintenance and you should either go watch another YouTube video on how to do more like intense maintenance or take it to a local sewing machine shop. They will be able to take it apart for you, adjust the thread tension, straighten the needle, and check all the internal parts. And what the heck? I got something in my mouth there. That was weird. So they will do all of that for you. And a lot of the time, like my local place that I bring it to, they're fairly reasonable for one time a year. Like that's a cost that I'll eat to make sure that my sewing machine stays in like really good order. So I don't have to like buy another, several $100 machine. Actually, I think my grandma spent more than that on this one. But also they usually guarantee their work for a certain amount of time. So like, 60 days or 90 days or something. So after you get it maintained, if you're having issues, you can bring it back in and they'll just fix it, maintain it again. So I hope you had fun today cleaning our sewing machines together. I know that I did. And I hope to see you around in some future videos. So if you would hit that subscribe button, then you can be in the know for my next video. I post every Tuesday, or at least most Tuesdays. And if you hit that like button, that makes me feel nice and good and fuzzy inside. And I hope you come back so you can drink along and sew along with me on my next video. Thanks for watching. I never know how to end these things.